of us have got the same means of production. The reason why today those who are white are able to go to private hospitals with a few co-option of black people in many clinics and so forth is because of the means of production. If all of us can have the same money, we are going to use the same hospital, either black or white. If all of us have got the same money, we are all going to use the same mode of transport, whether it's public transport or whether it's a house train, whether it's anything. When you go to the Johannesburg Park Station, you will find a rainbow nation. And a rainbow nation must not only happen at FNB Stadium when there's a soccer match. It must not only happen when there's a rugby World Cup. A rainbow nation must be seen in all sides of the country. When you enter Soweto, you must see a rainbow nation. When you go to Baragwanath Hospital, you must see a rainbow nation. When you go to any public transport facility, you must see a rainbow nation. When we engage here at UJ, we must be engaging in a rainbow nation. And this will only happen when we all have the same means of production. When we all have access to the same kind of the economic means. When all black professionals are able to participate in the economy like all white professionals. When all black professionals are able to participate in the land processes like any white agriculturist. It is then that you will see a real rainbow nation. At this stage, what we have is a cosmetic rainbow nation. And this generation must change that kind of a cosmetic rainbow nation. A classless society must move beyond color and racial barriers. The reason that today, even when we speak about statistics, we speak about them on racial lines, it's because we are still a divided nation in terms of the economic means of this country. And what will unite us as South Africans is not the soccer match. It's the economy. The economy will bring all of us together. It has tried a bit to bring some few black people who have got money to the suburbs, into the middle clinics and so forth. But we have still not achieved the real economic freedom and the real economic integration that is expected in a real rainbow nation. I'm raising these comrades because we have always been oftenly criticized that we want to create a divide between white and black. We are just saying the Freedom Charter says we must share in the country's wealth. We just want to share like all whites. We just want to live like them. I heard Comrade Nanipa, unfortunately she's not here, that we must properly divide what we mean by this economic freedom. It's a simple thing, comrade. It's not a very difficult concept. It's very simple. When your grandmother asks you, what is this thing that you're talking about of economic freedom? You must be able to tell the grandmother, no, we just want to live like white people. You must not confuse the grandmother with the Freedom Charter, want to achieve all the economic objectives of the Freedom Charter, transferring the wealth of the country to everyone. Just give her a simple explanation. The grandmother, your grandfather will understand that my child is involved in a just struggle. Because your grandmother, your grandfather knows how white people are living. They were their employees, they were their gardeners, they were domestic workers, they were their employees. So they will easily understand this struggle and they will see a need for you to continue with this struggle. It is important that we must not only run ourselves alone as young people in this fight for economic struggle. Why is it the youth league of the ANC, SASCO, COSAS, which are all today in ICU, we must be blunt comrades, we must not lie to ourselves. SASCO, the youth league, YCL, all of them are in ICU today. All of them, with no exception. Maybe SASCO is still a bit better. But the YCL is no more. The Youth League, COSAS, they are all in tatters. We must be realistic if we want to revive them. Because if we are in denial and we say that they are still alive, while we can see that they are not dead, we are not going to resolve any challenge. Young people of South Africa need a strong YCL, need a strong Youth League, they need a strong COSAS, they need a strong SASCO to speak to their interests without fear or favor, without being scared that they might disturb or disrupt the ears of the elders. Because our organizations are not organizations of cheerleaders and a group of hero worshippers. This is a critical board of opinion. It's an organization of young people meeting with minds on ideas to resolve the challenges of this country and to input positively into the national democratic revolution. It's not an individual cheer worshipping and hero worshipping organization. Those who want to do worshipping must go to church. Those who want to do those things of praising individuals must go to the church. This comrade has spoken about the personality cult. We cannot allow a personality cult to kill our movement. The whole organization dying because of one individual. We must be able to say, as young people of this country, if the ANC is veering away from the objectives of the Freedom Charter, from the objectives of the NDR, just like the generation of Pigs, the generation of Anton Lembede, we must bring it into line. We must say the objectives of the NDR can be achieved through this means of economic struggle. We must be able to say that without fear or favor, and not only just insult people so that you are tomorrow appointed a minister or a deputy minister. Our struggle is not to be in cabinet. The struggle of the Youth League, that of the YCL, COSAS, and so forth, is to advance the interest of the youth of South Africa. Jealously so, safeguard their interest, safeguard the interest of young people of this country. That is our responsibility, that is our task as the young people of the ANC. Our task is not to defend the indefensible. It's not to defend the indefensible. We must defend the unemployed youth of this country. We must defend and speak on behalf of the youth of South Africa, building the future with them. That is the responsibility of all of us. That is the task, the twin task of all young revolutionaries. Comrade District Secretary of the YCL, you might have a different view. They are going to give space to everybody. The comrade chairperson of SASCO from Gauteng, which was disbanded twice. The comrades from COSAS, might have a different view, and those that are leading the youth today might have a different view. But the evidence is there for all to see. These organizations, comrades, today as we stand, they do not exist. In the interest of the youth of South Africa. We must be critical of that because it's important that they are revived so that the youth of South Africa can again gain confidence in the mass democratic movement. So that the youth of South Africa can again associate themselves with the ANC of Oliver Tambo, the ANC of Nelson Mandela, the ANC of everybody. It is a very important gesture. But as I conclude, comrades, I must speak about what Comrade Sasawala was speaking about. In Mangaung, we did not only adopt that resolution that Comrade Sasawala spoke about. We have also adopted a program for a decade of a cadre, a new cadre of the ANC. And when you look at the constitution of the ANC, there is only one constitutionally mandated structure of the ANC, which is expected to be a preparatory school of new cadres, which is the Youth League of the ANC. no any other structure which has got the same mandate as we do, to prepare the young ones for the Congress movement. So in the Congress movement, they must be imbued not only with revolutionary theory, but also with the revolutionary values and culture of the organization. And the culture of the organization is carried from one generation to the other. But culture must evolve with times in society. But we must maintain the character of the Youth League of the ANC. We must maintain the character of the YCL. We must maintain the character of FOSAS, but it must be able to adapt to the new conditions. The biggest problem we've been grappling with since 1994, democratic breakthrough, is what becomes the role of all these structures when we now no longer have the common enemy, which is apartheid. What becomes the role of a young activist in the Youth League, in the YCL, when we now do not have one common enemy as apartheid? The ANC in various congresses prior to Polokwane adopted monopoly capital as an enemy of the revolution. I've seen now they've removed it. So I don't know now who is the enemy of the revolution. Because the strategy and tactic, the latest one does not have monopoly capital as an enemy of the revolution. Does it mean that we must find enemies amongst ourselves? Must we now scramble against each other? Maybe that's why we are now at loggerheads with each other. But the reality of the resolutions that we have adopted in Mangaung is that a decade of a Kenya program must happen within the structures of the Youth League. It's where in the YCL, FOSAS, and any other structures of the Progressive Youth Alliance. It's only there that you can groom a new cadre. There's no way you can groom a new cadre from a 40-year or 70-year person. You can't groom a new cadre out of an ANC cadre who's 50 or 70. You can't groom a new cadre out of a South African Communist Party leader who's 50 or 70. A new cadre will be groomed within the Progressive Youth Alliance. And it is within the Progressive Youth Alliance, comrades, where we must speak without fear. We must be able to say, comrades, as we move forward, for us to renew the organizational character of the ANC, its values, we must stick true to the eye of the needle when we elect leadership. Because I have heard this thing of innocent until proven guilty and all those things. Through the eye of the needle says that an ANC cadre must be a selfless cadre. It's not about you. It's about the ANC. So if I'm involved in any activity that can change the ANC, I must not change the ANC. Because it's not about me, it is about the ANC. I must just set aside, I must allow the ANC to continue up until I'm fine. We must not speak about the court of law here, because this is a political organization. In a court of law, yes, we speak about those things of what women guilty and so forth. But in a political organization, the test is different. We speak about moral values in society. It's your public persona. The way we are standing in society is what we speak about in a political structure. That's why we say you are a public representative. And people elect you because they still have confidence in you. And that's why you see in England, when somebody is involved in any scandal, even just a leak in a newspaper, that person resigns. In America, anything, they don't wait for a Supreme Court of Justice to find him guilty, and then it's then that he's going to resign. Some of them who have resigned were even found not guilty in those courts of Britain, America, and so forth. And that's why a seasoned cadre of the ANC, Comrade Paulo Jordan, I like this example because this cadre did not violate any law. There's no law that is broken. He did not break any law. There's no board who can say, Comrade Paulo Jordan, you have violated section 52 of the Higher Education Act in that you conferred yourself a doctoral study. And that's why I was not arrested. There is no investigation. There is nothing. understood that his standing in society as a public representative has diminished. And that's why he had to resign. So we must be clear when we have a resolution, we must implement it to the letter. So there must be nobody who is charged amongst us who still want to continue to tarnish the image of the ANC and the image of the youth. Anybody who is charged must just follow those who have resigned, those who have relieved themselves, and wait to clear his name, and allow us to continue the struggle. We are a political preparatory school of ANC. We are not a fraud and corruption school. We are a school that must inspire society to believe that amongst the young ones in the ANC, amongst the young ones at SASCO, amongst the young ones in the YCL, this country will remain in good hands. Society must be having confidence amongst ourselves. And nobody, comrades, amongst us is a saint. I know some of you are involved in many other criminal activities. But there are activities which we all know that this activity can change the image of the glorious movement. And those are the activities which have been said by Mangaon, that any activity that can change us, please allow us to continue. We'll come back when you are there, because this is not about you, it's about the ANC. But comrades, as we were involved in some debates, I have seen on Facebook and everything, people criticizing them, saying, no, but why are you involved in this? It has never happened in the youth league or in the ANC. I said, but I'm shocked, because I know that these people who are saying this thing has never happened in the youth league or in the ANC, in the morning, they send a breakfast SMS to the delegates of the youth league to National Congress. In the evening, they send the supper message. It's a continuous thing. Even today is happening, tomorrow is going to happen. Is that the platform of the youth league? Has it been opened that we can now send delegates SMSs? Comrades condemn us. They speak on Facebook, condemning people who are debating on TV. What is Facebook? Is it not a media platform? The only difference is that our son could deal it on TV, which is also media. They do it on Twitter, they do it on Instagram, and everywhere, condemning those who are debating on TV. In a media platform. They don't wait for a BGM to tell the secretary, you know, corporate secretary. I think they're saying that's how we must do it. They must wait for the BGM and inform the BEC that we have seen an unbecoming conduct from Comrade Lamola and Comrade Marupi. Then maybe we can listen to them, and then we can debate. When the branch and the regional executive and the entity then says, no, comrades, you are involved in some unsanctioned debate. But when comrades speak on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, it's the same thing. They are guilty of the same offense. But then it comes to the point that comrades, we are now in the 21st century. The youth league must evolve with time. The YCL must evolve with time. But the reality of the matter is that how do we then regulate this evolution? Because I know the YCL does not have a Facebook policy. It doesn't have a Twitter policy or an SMS policy. The youth league also said it doesn't have. So as we evolve, maybe we must begin to debate how must we use social media, how must we use mainstream media, how must we use print media to discuss and stimulate debate within the organization. But as we move, comrades, we have also released, the entity has released discussion documents, including the ANC, discussion documents for discussions in society, not only within the structures of the youth. Society as a whole, a scholar from Holland or anywhere, can write and critique the discussion documents of the youth for the next National Congress. I've seen the ANCYL said they are also going to release their own documents for the next Congress and so forth. But those documents are now available for public debate. Let's engage them in public, let's engage them in beer halls, let's engage them in baby showers everywhere. Because the Youth League does not only seek to lead its members. We do not only seek to lead the membership of the Youth League, but the Youth League also seeks to influence society. And it is in the Youth League manifesto of 1949. It's not a new thing. The Youth League also wants to influence society, except influencing the ANC. And that's why the documents of the Youth League, or any documents which are not organizational confidential documents, are released for public discussion. The nationalization debate was everywhere. Expropriation was everywhere. Even the ANC Congress discussion documents. So we have arrived at that point where the Youth League next Congress must be debated by all of us. Because when we continue to allow these secret arrangements of people sitting in nice hotels, discussing who must lead the Youth League, this organization will end up being bought by criminals. Because criminals who have money are going to sit in Senti, agree on who and how much they influence. They send money all over the country. A criminal will come and lead the Youth League because there are no debates about its future, its character, its role in society, but also as to who must lead the ANC Youth League. It's very important that we must do so openly, without any fear, so that we know who is going to lead us in the next Congress. If we are going to continue with this trend of wanting to be secretive about this thing of the next Congress and so forth, we don't know, we're going to wait for the branches to tell us and so forth. One day, a moneyed person is going to make a joke about us. They are just going to produce a slate and say the president is Ronald Lamola, the deputy president is Sasavona, the secretary general is in Tuanano, and so forth. You have never seen this Ronald Lamola speak or say anything anywhere. You have never engaged him on anything, but because he's part of your faction, he's part of your slate, you are just going to vote for this Ronald Lamola. Then they say Ronald Lamola must come and deliver the closing remarks of Congress. The criminal will just bring you a dome and say, this is Ronald Lamola. And this dome is Ronald Lamola. You get what that culture which was happening in Congress in exile, it was done to make sure that the ANC ran in a military style and format. We are now in an open and a democratic society. It must be an open engagement. Who wants to lead the Youth League must be engaged by the membership. It must not just be a person who just arrived at the Congress and is announced in a press conference. These people must engage you. In fact, you must call them, some of them who are appointed by newspapers that they want to lead the Youth League. Call them and engage them. It must be an open process. I'm not saying we must Americanize the Youth League, but I'm saying we must have a platform of discussions amongst ourselves as members, but also in society as well. And the ANC tried it with the local government elections when it took councillors to the communities and so forth to engage. It's a reality of our time. If you still want to live in the past, you will be overtaken by events and you will not be relevant in society. Thank you very much.